Alright, so I've got yet another video, and this video is going to be entitled, What's Responsible for the Rise in Faggotry amongst the Manosphere? And, yeah, so here goes. So, I consider myself, fairly, well qualified to talk about the Manosphere because I've been following it for so long. I probably started following the red pill and manosphere type stuff when I was about, it was probably around 2011 or 2012. Maybe not 2011, but certainly by 2012, I had really started to. I guess this is an old high school. Oh, that's interesting. Well, you probably can't see it, but it is an old high school. It looks like maybe it's being remodeled or it's being torn down or something. I don't really too much know. But and at any rate, basically I started following the Manosphere probably sometime around 2012 or so, and I started getting into like Barbarossa and Stardust, and Barbarossa and Stardust and SWP, and there was a channel called Man Woman Myth, and there were all these different guys, and they all seemed, I don't want to say alpha, but they were a far cry from, the angry MGTOWs and the turd-flinging monkeys and all these faggots we have running around in MGTOW right now. They seemed like, fairly cool guys. They didn't seem like just freaking autistic retards or whatever, right? And for a long time, they were pretty much the only guys really doing MGTOW content, and back when it was like only, Thugtician and like Barbarossa and Stardust, the amount of producers was like a lot smaller, but the quality of content was a lot higher, you know what I mean? And over time, that began to change. You began to have Stardust. You began to have Sandman, pop onto the scene around maybe 2015. And I really think 2015 was the year where MGTOW really started to get really fucking fagged out. Honestly. It was probably sometime around 2015. And you had Stardust popping onto the scene, I think. And then also, you had the whole Donald Trump thing. Now, I really think that the craze that a lot of the Manosphere got into with Donald Trump running really brought a lot of the autistic faggots really in MGTOW, because that's what happened. Around 2015, you really began to notice a lot of fractures in the so-called Manosphere. There was a lot of black people in the Manosphere. There have been, there always will be, because, it's really been black people black men who've really been, they have it pretty much, the roughest with women, both their women and, other women, which, other women, they're not really supposed to be dating other women anyway, so that just is what it is. But it used to be, I guess, easier probably for a lot of black men to date other, races of women. Like, I remember when George W. was president, it used to be common, well, not common, but, you used to see black men with other races of women a lot more often than you do now. Now, I don't know where you people live, where you're seeing all of these black men with like these non-black women. I don't know where you people live, but I just don't see that. It just doesn't happen. What I see, if I see a black interracial relationship, it's like a black woman with usually a white man. Like, I'm seeing that pretty heavy. I mean, I can hardly remember the last time I saw a black man with a white woman. I mean, some of you people you're just out of your minds, you're psychopaths, I don't know what it is. But this whole thing with, like, black men and, like, white women, that's some, like, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton stuff, man. I don't really be seeing that too much anymore. I really don't. It's usually black women with white men, or any other type of interracial pairing. I don't really see black men with other races of women. In fact, I don't really see black men with any women, period, for to a large degree. When you're talking about black men under the age of 40, and especially under the age of 30, oftentimes they're just alone. They're probably, percentage-wise, they're the most lonely men, I would say, out there. I mean, it seems like other races of men have at least a little bit of an easier time than black men do right now. It's certainly not like it was 10, 20, or even 5 years ago. Everyone's talking about, my Aryan princess, she's with some, Tyrone. Like, dude, that's just not happening. I don't see black men. If you actually talk to black men, and a lot of people in this community don't, they just, get their views from black men or whatever, through Breitbart or something. If you actually talk to them, you'll find that they're usually single, not married, and they don't have any kids. That's what your average black man is right now. And, there's this stereotype they need to put up about, like, oh man, I'm keeping my dick wet and all this kind of shit. Like, nah, that's just not happening. Like, if you look at 40-year and older black men, maybe you might see them with the woman that they've been with for 10 plus years or whatever. And maybe some of the 30-something, but even then, it's kind of, with men under 35, with men born since 1980 or whatever, you're just not really, seeing them with people like that. They're usually just single. I mean, straight up. Especially, after high school and college. Like, really, high school is the last time where it gets normal to be with a woman. And, after that, it's just kind of a dog-eat-dog world. Well, anyway, I'm getting way off track. If you're going to sit through this video, you just sit through it. Anyway, around 2015, you began to have a lot of black men being dissatisfied with the manosphere because of, like, being anti-authoritarian or whatever, but not saying too much about these police shootings and stuff like that. And that's how you began to have a lot of splits and a lot of, like, Igmore type stuff and whatever. And you began to have this Trump thing kick off. And, a lot of the white men in the manosphere just really went crazy over Donald Trump, from 2015 onward. And I think that's when the faggotry really leaked into MGTOW. Because you had all of these, like, 4chan, autistic, basically shitlords. And, they were pretty big into just, outright, I said I said outright, not alt-right, but pretty big into outright, white supremacy, and, they're pretty much autistic, freaking lamos. Honestly, they're not even human, they're just terror. And, these autistic people, they came in with Donald Trump, and they began to bring their memes of, like, Chad and Tyrone. And I had never really noticed this before. Like, after I became a Hebrew Israelite, I kind of dropped off the manosphere a little bit, because I began to think, well, that's a gender war propagated by Satan, honestly. And, I should probably, be a little bit more understanding to these women, because, a lot of this division, this gender war, is kind of propagated by Satan. But, when these 4chaners came in with Donald Trump, they're autistic, and, they're just really fucking strange. And the thing about all that is, these people, they're not heteronormative, a lot of them. They like to pretend that they're heteronormative, and they like to pretend like they're going against feminists and all this kind of stuff. But really, they're not heteronormative. They're not like the true, more straighter, more masculine kind of men who are into the manosphere pre-2015, with, when things were a little more normal. These, like, 4chaner types, they're just really, they're psychos, and they're kind of queer, and they're kind of bi. And so you began to have them put out a lot of these memes of, like, Chad and Tyrone, and, like, they talk about Chad and Tyrone so much that it goes beyond jealousy, if you guys notice. It's beyond jealousy of Chad and Tyrone. They want to fuck Chad and Tyrone. All of these, like, autistic, 4chaner, Trump-supporting, creatures that came into the manosphere post-2015, they want to fuck Chad and Tyrone. They are not jealous of Chad and Tyrone. You see, with, like, the regular MGTOW people back in the day, they wanted to be alphas. Like, they didn't personalize the alpha. See, that's the other thing. Like, the MGTOWs of back in the day, they just talked about alphas, and they wanted to be alphas, but the alpha was always this nameless, faceless individual, okay? Because that's what you're gonna do if you're a man. You're gonna make the man that you want to be a nameless, faceless individual. You're not gonna turn him into a name. You're not gonna turn him into a face. Because when you do, you're limiting your ability to pretend that you're him. However, when these, like, 4chaners, when they came into the scene, what they did was they put a name, and they even put a face to these individuals. I mean, I don't really see a face for Tyrone, but they you type it into YouTube, and yeah, they've put a face to Chad. They don't really put a face to Tyrone, I don't think. But they put a face to Chad, and they have these memes of, like, this guy that they draw as Chad, and it's like they draw him with a crayon or something. It's just, well, probably like Microsoft Paint, and it's just kind of pathetic looking. You have this, like, pathetic looking version, dude, and then you have this Chad looking guy on the memes on Google, and it's just, really, it's displaying their homosexuality, because it's like, a real straight dude is gonna maybe talk about that dude, but he's gonna talk about that dude like he wants to be that dude. And he's not going to put a name and a face to that dude. He's going to keep it nameless and faceless so he can pretend to be him. But these 4chaner types, you know, they're putting names to these dudes, they're putting faces to these dudes, and they're doing it because they want to fuck these dudes. Because, you know, they're faggots. And, you know, they came into the manosphere with this basically Trump wave, and through that, they've been allowed to turn the manosphere into something that is just totally fucking deranged. It's absolutely deranged because of these absolute psychopaths who've crept in. And you know, these type of people, they're making videos about vaginas stinking and, like, you know, women being, you know, icky and stuff like that. And, like, when I was a kid, you know, when I was in high school, if you had, you know, pretended to be straight and you had said some stuff like that, you would have gotten beat up. You know what I mean? You would have gotten, like, beat up saying, like, you know, vaginas are icky or something like that. And you weren't, like, openly gay or something like that. Like, you would have been really uncool. But these dudes have been allowed to fester because they basically came in with the Donald Trump wave. And, you know, that's really what made the manosphere deranged, as far as I can tell. And, what else I can cover? It just basically seems like, in general, this whole Donald Trump, you know, thing of the manosphere, it's what really made a lot of people just very deranged. It's been very interesting to kind of observe over the past couple of years. So, shit, you know, there was a runner there, but I just had to keep doing my video. I wasn't gonna stop or anything. But, anyway, you basically had a lot of these these 4chan type Asperger people